Two of the COVID-19 vaccines are mRNA vaccines, a vaccine technology that hadn't previously been used in commercial vaccines. Because of this, most people didn't know much about how they work when they first became available, which led to a lot of confusion and misinformation. For example, one claim I heard a lot was that the mRNA vaccine changes people's DNA. In this video, I'll try to clear the confusion, give you a rough understanding of how vaccines in general and mRNA vaccines in particular work, and show you why the idea that the vaccine changes your DNA is nonsense. The purpose of a vaccine is to build immunity and prepare your body to fight future infections by familiarizing your immune system with a certain virus, so that it can recognize that virus quicker the next time it shows up. You can imagine it like the police taking a criminal's fingerprints or hanging up a wanted poster, so that the next time that criminal shows up, they will recognize him and arrest him quickly before he can cause too much trouble. Of course, viruses don't have fingerprints. Instead, the immune system recognizes a virus based on characteristic surface proteins called antigens. In the case of SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, these antigens are the virus's characteristic spike proteins. With traditional vaccines, you inject weakened or dead viruses, or even parts of viruses. These carry the antigens of a virus without being able to cause an infection. Now, the mRNA vaccines make a clever change. Instead of injecting parts of actual viruses, you simply inject mRNA, which acts as a blueprint for the antigens, and then the body's own cells do the work of actually building them. You can imagine it like this. The cell's nucleus, which houses the DNA, is like a vault that houses the blueprints of all the proteins that the body needs to know how to make. The ribosomes are where the proteins are synthesized. They're like the protein factories of the cell. Now, the information about how to build the proteins still has to get from the blueprints in the vault to the factory, and that's where the mRNA comes into play. It's short for messenger RNA, and it acts as a working copy of the part of the blueprint needed to produce a certain protein. It's created in the nucleus and used in the ribosomes to correctly synthesize the protein. Using an mRNA vaccine is like sending alternate working plans to the factory, plans that tell it to produce the antigen of a certain virus, which then prepares the immune system for a future infection with that virus the same way a traditional vaccine would. Notice, the vaccine's mRNA doesn't affect the original blueprints. It simply has the cell's factories produce something else temporarily and then is broken down shortly after being used. Interestingly, the scientists who came up with the mRNA vaccine actually stole the trick right out of the virus's own playbook. Many viruses reproduce by using mRNA to hijack a host cell's protein production, causing it to build more viruses.